The party of brave Turkeykin adventurers, consisting of Hot Buns Giblet Gobblestein, Pickle Jones Bones the Fifth, Butterball St. Cranberry, Skinny Fixins, Yam Bam Wishbone, and Gobble Sneakfeather, were summoned to an important meeting of their radical Turkeykin movement to rebel and turn the course of history against the humans and elves of the town of Stuffingson. These are their tales as told from the perspective of gifts as chosen by the players throughout the one-shot. As a radical group of Turkeykin led by Gobblebeak sought to summon the immense and powerful turkey deity the Great Gobbler to turn the tides of the world, he called upon these brave adventurers to seek out the legendary ingredients needed to perform the great summoning feast. They were to retrieve mashed potatoes from the legendary mashed potato marshes, the juiciest cranberries from the enchanted cranberry grotto, the smoothest gravy from the gravy grotto, and the magnificent feathers of Featherflap, the turkey owl who resides within the feathered forest. Given a map with useful advice, the party set off with a tremendous responsibility. The first decided stop on the great quest was to gather the juiciest cranberries in all of the land by visiting the enchanted cranberry grotto. Accompanied by a great wizard of the Cranberry Mancy School, they thought they would be in for a stroll in the park. When they arrived, they found many of the berries to either be enchanted jelly beans that exploded into confetti or plants meant to turn them into giant cranberries. After spotting the pixies enjoying a laugh at the party's expense, Gobble Sneakfeather attempted to sneak across and steal the berries without being noticed, but was caught and nearly turned into a cranberry himself, if not for his tremendous feats of acrobatics. The Queen Pixie Berrybell challenged them to a juggling contest. Being unable to successfully juggle Gobble, had to request the help of Hot Buns. Thankfully, the pair was able to impress the Pixie Queen and were rewarded with all of the cranberries they could want. The next stop was the Feather Forest, where they had to play a game of Gobble Gobbleseek with Featherflap. He would turn his back and hide while the party attempted to stealthily pick up feather tokens worth varying point values by depositing them in his nest and earning 5 points without being detected and taken back to the start. They would succeed and be granted a feather. The party used stealth, invisibility, and distraction to quickly beat Featherflap, as if he was a regular old bird. With the magnificent feather and cranberries in possession, they turned their attention to the next two ingredients, the mashed potatoes and gravy. The mashed potatoes were relatively simple. Dodge the flung potato cakes, the potato imps were hucking it all, trying to gather their precious byproduct. The athletic Yam Bam and agile Hot Buns were able to quickly gather enough potatoes. Several of the others were not so lucky. Some, such as Butterball, enjoyed the rustic banjo of Gravy Gobbler the 23rd, a friendly Turkeykin chef. The final ingredient, the ever-need gravy to top the potatoes. The party had to answer several riddles for the great guardian of the Gravy Grotto Gravina, the Gravy Elemental, to award them with the sought-after gravy. After answering the riddles successfully, the party returned, celebrated by a bloodthirsty Gobblebeak. The ritual preparations began. The feast of the Great Gobbler began without a hitch. However, Gobblebeak had a suspicion that the humans would send adventurers to stop their religious meeting. The ritual began as Yam Bam stabbed a human sacrifice as the primary catalyst for the beginning of the feast. Sir St. Cranberry raised a protective cranberry barrier to protect the veil between realms that would form. As the ritual progressed, sure enough several humans, elves and Goliaths showed up demanding the cult activities of these savages come to a stop immediately. Seeing there would be no peaceful dissolution of the mass at the feast, violence ensued. Gobblebeak told the party to buy him at least 1 more minute or two to finish the ritual and bring the change of the world. As combat began, Yam Bam activated his helmet of teleportation and sent himself, Hot Buns, and Pickle Jones Bones behind enemy lines. He immediately action surged and maimed the necromancer Tony, who was in the back of the pack with his flame-tongue greatsword. As the melee ensued, Skinny Fixins raged with the wrath of the Gobbler, becoming enveloped in deadly feathers, proceeding to dish out Gobbler quakes to foe and friend alike. Gobble Sneak Feather rained deadly arrows from a distance, dealing mass sneak damage. St. Cranberry unleashed powerful magic, counterspells, and potent cranberry attacks that dealt mass damage. Hot Buns unleashed devastating flurries of blows, moving swiftly across the battlefield with ease, and sent fireballs flying into his foes to roast them alive. Pickle Jones Bones V hurled his mighty dwarven thrower across the battlefield, moving into melee to smite his foes into the afterlife. This wasn't without return fire as the adventurers called down fire from the heavens, clouds of deadly poison, unleashed devastating multi-attacks, and rained down arrows from the shadows themselves. In the end, the result was decisive as the field was covered in the burning blood of the Turkeykin foes. In the final moments, Yam Bam Wishbone unleashed a devastating barrage of flaming attacks against a war priest who was eviscerated into a warm blood mist that covered Hot Buns and himself. Perhaps one of the scariest sights was Skinny Fixins wreaking havoc with no care for the destruction in his wake. In the end, the great Gobbler was summoned and razed the village of Stuffingson to the ground, and our brave Turkeykin warriors feasted on the humans that once did the same to their brethren. This was a collaborative story featuring Jester, Two-Stoned Critic, the Great Golden Dragon, the Robots Concern, Hwanson, Northstar as the players, and Mazfate as the DM. The GIFs may not line up perfectly, but hopefully as the story was told, you were able to piece together key moments the players thought to share as GFs in our channel dedicated to them. Thanks for watching!